Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you're not interested in listening to me ramble throughout this video, then you can scrub along the timeline and you'll find the screenshots at the end of the video. Moving on, in today's video I'm going to make a Scandinavian industrial home. I'm kind of reluctant to say the word Scandinavian because I think the home decorator pack is heavily inspired by Scandinavian interior design, hence the name, or henceforth I use the word Scandinavian, and I follow sim builders like Evelyn YT, if you know her. She's Danish and she thinks that the home decorator pack is Scandinavian, so don't quote me on that. What I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but correct me if I am. Anyways, yeah, so I made the house inspired because of the home. I made this house because of the home decorator pack. Game pack. I personally love the pack. I know it. I've tested it a bit. I've played through the career a bit. I haven't really experienced the bugs yet mentioned. I'm not even actually entirely sure what the bugs are, but in general I do really like the pack. The build items are very nice. I was dying for those like sectionals. I was also dying for like countertops or like tables or end tables that wasn't like a full size, or the width of the table wasn't like probably in real life measurements, probably a meter long, maybe half a meter or something like that. I don't know to visualize that, but yeah, it just helps that the items that came with this pack are just in general smaller, if that makes any sense, because there's a tendency in The Sims, or in The Sims 4, that majority of the items are kind of big for what it really is. So I enjoyed that change. I don't know if they're listening to the community. I am sure they are, because a lot of people do complain it. A lot of Sims builders do complain about it. So it's nice to see that they added new things with the pack. And in general, out of the game packs, this is the more memorable one for me, or the one that I see myself using a lot. Like the other game packs like Strangerville and Jungle Adventure, I use those packs a lot because I just like that, like, you're being forced into a story that you don't really I don't normally play The Sims for gameplay. I use it as like a building simulator. So to have game packs that kind of force a certain narrative is quite nice. So this is like you're like a home decorator person, architect, stuff like that. But then you can just use the pack for what aesthetic means you have, personal aesthetic means you have. But in general, like what I am trying to say right now, I do love the pack. I think it's very, out of all the other game packs, it's one of the more memorable ones, one of the more well thought ones, one of the more game packs that I'll probably be using a whole lot more. Unlike Journey to Batu, I do like using the game items in Journey to Batu, but I don't really go to the theme park world that they have. I have yet to try playing in the Batu area, so I only do really use the items that came with it, because I do like the post-apocalyptic gameplay personally, and or the grungy kind of gameplay where you're starting from nothing, rags to riches type. So I do kind of enjoy a Journey Batu because of the items, but other than that, nothing really memorable about it. Unlike this one, I personally like going to Sims houses and making their rooms. I can see why, if you follow Plumbella, it can get really frustrating after a while going to the house. Like in in the Sims 3 with the ambitions where you just gotta go to each house and do all the tasks required of you. At least there's an option where you can actually just send the sim to work and hope for the best. I suppose it helps when you're trying to make a name for yourself. You do the first few houses, and then if you have a good reputation, you go and just send your sim out. Because in general, or personally, when I play The Sims, I just like staying in the lot. That's why, although I do like making tiny homes, I place those tiny homes in rather big lots and expand a lot in the future, because when I do generational stuff, because I just personally don't like moving my sim out of the lot because of the loading screens. Although I personally have a capable computer to handle the loading screens, not that long. I just don't like the break in immersion. So hopefully when The Sims 5 do come out, I don't think update to The Sims 4 will fix such a thing. They bring back that open world feature, and they can heavily market that as a new thing or something that should have been a thing. But since they need to sell The Sims 5 when they do develop it in the future, they're just gonna use, oh, it looks like The Sims 4, but it's you know, open world. If you remember all those Sims 3 trailers back in 2010, where like the sim is in his own bubble and then eventually the world opens around him. If you like the nostalgia drip and you kind of trip and you kind of remember what I'm referring to. Anyways, yeah, going back to the whole countertop end table conversation I had earlier, I just love it. Like, these things, I'm going to use them all the time. I hope they make more stuff like this in different style variations, because I personally like it. I really do. And I just realized that there aren't really skill items that came with this pack. Only just these interior designing stuff. I'd hope there is this like drafting table looking chair, not chair but table, but I just said table. Anyways, it's just for aesthetic thing. It's just a desk. Actually, it looks pretty nice, but I thought it was a skill item. I thought at least you can improve your painting there. Like I don't know where the tablet came from. If it's City Living or if it's some other pack, but I'd hope that they included like a skill item thing, but they didn't. I mean, at least not to my knowledge. It's all just, interior stuff, which is kind of sad, but you can't really have everything. And they focused a lot of their energy, or I suppose funding, on the gameplay aspect. So rebranding another table as something that you can, improve your painting probably was too much for them. I hope somebody from the modding community fixed that or do something about that, but here's hoping. But I'm sure they will, because modders in our community is very competent. I was actually on Patreon the other day, and I was checking out some of the modders I follow, and they really do generate a good side income. If it is like a thing or a side hustle for them, they do quite generate a lot of money per month, which is nice, because it's what you want to see for independent creators or modders who are probably making the game better in general. But yeah, it's just an unfortunate thing right now. So yeah, there's the drafting table I was just talking about. It's not really a skill item as I hoped, like the one you get when you become an architect in The Sims 3 Ambitions. It's just a cosmetic item. That was the word I was trying to remember. It's just for cosmetics. It's just a table in general, which is kind of upsetting, but yeah. Anyways, if there's something I noticed with this pack is the end tables and the closets. They're really good space fillers. So if, for example, you have like a corner in the house that you don't really know what to place other than a plant, you can use some of the closets or the storage items that came with it. Although my only gripe with the new items is the wood colors kind of look or feel muted, or you know, they just don't really match with the other wood colors or swatches that we currently have in game. So when I do go around the Sims world and remodeling other Sims houses, I feel like you can only really pair the new items with the style that it came with it. I mean, if that makes any sense, because I really do like mix and matching styles together. So the fact that I can't at least have the colors look more similar is kind of frustrating, but that's really just a minute gripe. It's not really a big deal. It's just something you notice when you play the game. The colors are kind of muted. Hopefully in new updates or in succeeding updates, they make more swatches. Anyways, I felt very inspired making the second floor. I really wanted to drive home the narrative that this person is an interior designer or an architect working in this beautiful house. Beautiful loft type area. I don't know if I'm gonna retain the Scandinavian industrial home. You'll see future me. I don't know what future me will decide on, but I normally like naming my builds in relation to what it looks like or what the profession is. It is just a loft, and it is a person who is supposedly an interior designer. You can use the lot any way you pleased, but that's just my narrative for it. I don't know. Scandinavian industrial home, is that Scandinavian home or Scandinavian industrial loft? We'll see. Future me, do what you want to do. And for the people who've reached this far, let's see what I name the title, or what I name the build. Comment down below if I do go with industrial loft or industrial home. But yeah, speaking about homes and speaking about industrial stuff and inspiration and titles, I am so appreciative of Pinterest. It's been, not years, but maybe a couple of months since I've done any creative project, and because of that, I have already opened Pinterest. In fact, that I started this YouTube channel, and Pinterest is the most amazing thing to get inspiration from. I just like that, because obviously I used to have these boards that for projects when I was in college. And it was just nice to live those moments. I don't know, just a little sharing on my part, but I love Pinterest. I also use Behance. I also use ArtStation from time to time. That's where I get my renders. If, like, let's say I try to recreate a house from a favorite show of mine. So some people on ArtStation really do make renders on Blender of their houses, and it's a really nice reference from time to time. Actually, speaking of shows from houses from favorite shows, I'm thinking of making the Rick and Morty house. I've actually looked it up on YouTube, and there are a couple of people who've actually recreated the house already, but I want to use my personal spin to it, or I want to attempt it. I've been thinking about it for a while, and other than that, I also am thinking of making or recreating the BoJack Horseman house, because I love the show. I love those two shows, and I think the Rick and Morty one is a good. I'll prioritize the Rick and Morty one because the new season is coming out. I just think, since I am just starting out in this whole new YouTube thing, I don't mind to have the, keyword help when it comes to getting people to discover my channel. Anyways, just some future plans on my part. Going back to the build, yeah, I love Pinterest because without it, I wouldn't be inspired to recreate this house. I mean, there's so many industrial looking houses design online for you to like see, and I actually used a toy set as a reference, and as always, all my references are linked down below. So the exterior of it was heavily inspired by that toy set that I saw in Pinterest. I just think it's just more fun to find those toy sets and try to recreate it here, rather than having to see like those architect looking pictures or whatever series you see on Pinterest. It's just fun for me. Anyways, the screenshots are coming in any moment now. 1, 2, 3 screenshots. Go. Okay, here are the screenshots. I love this shot. I methodically took the screenshots for this particular build because I love the surrounding. I really do. Actually, you would debate that this would look better in the Evergreen Harbor world, in the factory area part, because of the industrial. If you place it on that the abomination of a trailer home in Evergreen, I think it looks nice too. But personally, I had the city living world in mind when I was making this, or when I was trying to think of this build, so I placed it here, and I think it looks nice, especially with that shot of the bridge that you just saw. Anyways, kitchen. These are just 5-second screenshots. I don't know if they're long enough. Comment down below if it's not. I'll happily make it longer if it suits you. And if you're just tuning in right now to look at screenshots, here it is. If you listen to me ramble for 15 minutes or so, I always say that, but I think I did a really good job here with the interior, better than my previous houses. I think that's the whole agenda with this YouTube channel. Just I try to actively get better as I post a new video, and hopefully this house I learn from my previous houses on how to make space better, or design the space better. And this is a really nice photo of the skylight, another big feature of the build, which is quite nice. And yeah, I just had so much fun designing it, I personally feel like, because again, this is an extension of my personality. If you've noticed, I do make a lot of artist like home, but yeah, it's just fun. Anyways, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you may be, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.